Okay, fine. So since now we have learned how to create the project in Selenium and how to, you know, write one end-to-end scenario in Selenium. Fine. So now today we are going to see the assertion in Selenium. Okay. So today's topic is assertions and screenshots. Just a second. Okay, is my screen properly visible to you? In one of my device, I can see this screen is stuck. Okay, yeah, fine. Thank you for confirming this. Okay, so today we are going to see assertions and screenshots. So what we'll do is I will just bring one scenario in front of you, and you have to tell me whether that is pass or fail. Okay, so let's suppose I am opening a login page here. So stock.scriptinglogic.net. Okay, so this is a login page here. I am entering correct username and correct password over here and click on login button. I see that the dashboard is appeared. So is my test pass or fail? Upon entering correct username and correct password, I got the dashboard over there. So my test is pass or failed. Okay, so yes, it is passed. Okay, now pay attention on another scenario. So let's say again this is my login page. I am entering incorrect username, incorrect password. Click on login button. I got error message. My test is pass or fail? Yes. This will be pass because this is what the expected is. Upon entering incorrect username, incorrect password, you should get the error message, right? So this is one thing. Now yesterday what we have done is it was just the automation. What we have done, we have opened the browser, we have entered the URL, we have interacted with several web elements, right? But that was the automation only. Your testing is said to be completed when you actually compare the expected and actual results, right? The difference between actual and expected result is your bug, isn't it? So just a second. So today what we are going to do is we are going to see how to compare the actual and expected result. Fine. So for that, we'll take these two basic example and then I'll take some advanced examples also. So first example, we will take this login. So let's open our project and okay, and now what we'll do is I will create a copy of the login demo. Okay, so let's say login demo assertion. Okay, so here we are going to continue that, but before that let me just tell you one thing. Now onwards we are not going to use main method, okay, because main method has its certain limitations. So limitations are be like you see, if I keep on writing the main methods, all the tests inside the main method, so let's say in between if something fails or some error occurs, then no further tests are evaluated. Because just see, if I am writing the different scenarios under main method only. So let's say we know that this public static void main, public static void main, okay, say string args, this is the starting point, I guess, right? So inside this, if I, let's say if I have different scenarios, for example, let's say login with valid credentials, okay, another scenario, let's say login with invalid credentials, let's say another scenario, login with blank credentials, okay. So yes, of course I can write the whole script here, and we can run the main function. But this approach is not a good approach. This approach is not a feasible approach as well, right? Because let's say tomorrow I don't want to run this test, so only option I have is to comment the code, right? Then let's say if something fails in between in another test, the further statements, they won't get executed, right? And there is no proper mechanism in the main method to compare actual and expected result, right? We can do that with the help of Java code, but we don't have any proper mechanism to compare actual and expected result, okay. So it will be just a single and long test, right? So we cannot have a different test cases here. So these are the limitations of the main method. I'll just read out once again. So if in between something fails or error occurs, then no further tests are evaluated. Then disabling any particular test does not have any proper mechanism. Then for comparing actual and expected result, there is again no proper mechanism, and it will be just like a long test, okay. So these are the limitations of main method. Getting this? Yes. So if you are using main method for your further tests or your automation scripts, so this will be your limitation. These will be your limitations. Fine. So now onwards, I'm not going to write the tests in the main method. Rather, I will write in a normal function, and I will make that normal function executable with the help of JUnit. Okay, so let's do that. So what I'll do is I will just create a fresh new test. So let's say login assert demo. Okay, so here what I'll do is I will not create main method, I will create a normal function. So I will write here public void let's say login test 1. Okay, I can write one test here, and you may put your login code here. Okay, right from opening the browser till login button click. Okay, so this is the code for doing login operation. Fine. Login test 1. So if you just see here, this is a normal method, and if you right click here, you will not get any run option, not even in the Eclipse also. So what you have to do is you have to put above this method, you have to put @test over here. Okay, right here @test. Fine. So immediately when you will write, you will get red color over there, red line over there. It means that there is a error. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to put your cursor. If you are using IntelliJ IDEA, press Alt or Enter. Otherwise, if you are using Eclipse, just move your cursor over there, and you will get this option like add JUnit to class path. Okay, so add JUnit to class path. So select this and say OK. So this will be added. So import org.junit.test. Now earlier there was no run option I had. Now you see I have a run option over here. Okay, so I will just say run, and it will be executed. Okay, fine. So this execution happened. Now what we can do is we can have multiple test cases like this. Okay, so I'll just make copy of it, 1 and 2. Okay, so let's say login test 1, this was login test 1, this is login test 2, and this is login test 3. So in login test 2, what I'll do is I will just send some random keys as a username and password, so it will be wrong username password. Here I'll put blank, here also I'll put blank. So what you can do is you can just run this whole class, right click and say run, and this will execute. This will execute. You see here previous one. Okay, so this is blank username password. What happened is that everything happened so fast, so we couldn't get a chance to see the thing. So what I'll do is before we click on before we go to the next test, after we click the button, I will just put it for sleep. Okay, so let's say thread dot sleep. So let's say 4000 millisecond. For 4 seconds I'll sleep. Copy and then paste it here. After we do the click operation and before we go for the next test. Okay, again right click and run. Okay, so this is the second test, wrong username and password, and now the third one is blank username and password. Okay, fine. So in this way we have executed the 3 scenarios here, so using JUnit. Fine. So
Amol, one question.
yes.
So it will always run all three test cases. Can we run only one or two test case?
We have that provision, but for that we need to implement TestNG and some other advanced things are there, right? So yes, of course we can
Okay.
make execute make some test cases executable, and we can restrict some cases, not test cases, not to execute. Fine. So now our main intention is to learn the assert here. Okay, so assertion part. So let's say I'll take the first test case, that is the mm, valid username password. Okay, so I've entered correct username, correct password, and I reached to this dashboard. Okay, you're saying that this test is passed. Now on what basis you are saying that this test is passed? Yes, what you observed based on which you are saying that this test is passed.
Dashboard.
Okay, any other things?
Expected result.
What, that's what we are asking. What is expected, what you have seen here, based on which you are saying that the test is passed.
Match with the expected requirement.
What was the expected requirement?
The title should be
Great. So title should be uh, equal, so you can just say that uh, here the title should be dashboard. Okay, so this is one of the expected result. I can just, because I need to write a code for it, right? So POSNIC dash dashboard. Okay, so this is this can be the one of the test case, because I know in real time how to get this page title. So let's say page title should, we see that this. Okay, so this is one of the valid. One of the person said that the dashboard text is also there. Okay, you can just see this dashboard text. Okay, so dashboard text. Okay, we can verify with the dashboard text also, right? Any other things?
URL change.
URL change. Okay, so you'll say URL URL of home page. Okay, so URL of the home page, just like this. You can just test it. Fine. Just 1 second. Actually, I have one technical issue with one of my device. I'm not able to see your chats. Just give me a moment. I'll fix this. Yeah. Yes, I've done. So in Selenium, we have one option, or options in the sense we have a provision called assertion. Okay, so using assertion, what we can do is we can very easily compare the actual and expected results. Fine. So we will take the first case, and we will consider this page title as the expected result. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this page title, go to the header, and this is your page title. Okay, so after I do the first execution, okay, so after I do the login button click, my expected result, I will store it into a string variable. So let's say string expected is equal to this. Okay, and can you tell me how can I get the actual results? So let's say string actual is equal to what? Expected I will predefined. Okay, so this is hard coded, this is predefined, because this is what I'm expecting to be there after I do successful login. So how can I capture the real page title? Yes,
Using the get title method.
using get title method. We have learned this yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Driver dot get title. Okay, driver dot get title. So this will be the actual and this will be expected, right? So if your actual matches expected, it means that your test is passed. If it does not matches, it is failed. So one option to compare them is use the string comparison method which are there in the Java. But today the comparison is there between the two things. Today the comparison is there in between the two things. Now two things are strings. So tomorrow these might be the two different integers, or two different lists, or two different maybe array lists, right? So in that case, we actually have this method. So assert dot assert equal, say, expected comma actual. Okay, expected comma actual, right? And here the third variable you can put as a message, right? So message could be like this is not a dashboard. Okay, so right click and run. Okay, title is this. I have actually captured it inside by going inside the HTML code. Okay, so it's done. So you can see that this test is passed. Okay, but in case if you want to just see what is the actual and what is the expected, you can just print it. So s out. So expected is equal to plus expected, and actual is equal to plus actual. Okay, so save this, right click and run this test once again. Yes, it's done. Now you can see in the output actual and expected are printed. They are same, hence my test is passed over here. Okay, fine. So just like this we can do the next test as well. So yes, any doubt?
Well, when you are defining the actual, actual attribute or expected attribute, you are defining the name as dashboard. POSNIC, right? Here the POSNIC you got from the you retrieved from the HTML tag, right? From
Right.
the page.
Exactly.
Okay. So is that entirely POSNIC is the title of the page?
Exactly.
Or
Exactly.
okay?
This is the title, page title. Fine.
Thank you.
Okay. So now one more test case I will verify. So I will verify, let's say if you are getting this wrong username and password message. Fine. So now to verify this, what you can do is after you complete the negative test, so this would be your expected result. Okay, wrong username or password. So let this be my expected result. Okay, after I do the button click operation, so string expected is equal to this wrong username and password. So now how to see the real text which is actually appeared there? So what you can do is you can find the web element. So driver dot find element, right? So by some locator I'll find. So let's say I will find it by XPath and say dot get text. Using get text you can just capture this text, and this will be your actual result. Okay, so XPath yesterday I have given you a tutorial on it, but still if you want to find it without using any tutorial, so we have this selector hub. So just capture this element, and this would be your XPath, the proper XPath. So you can just capture it and put it here, and using get text method you will be able to capture this, and this will be your actual result. So string actual is equal to this, and say assert dot assert equals actual comma expected. Okay, so save this, right click and run. Okay, so browser is opened, it is maximized. Okay, wrong username and password. By the way, I should print this also so that you can see the actual and expected, difference between actual and expected. If it is, but difference is not there, the test is although going to be passed. So right click and run, and here we are. Fine. So this is done. So you can also see the output printed over here, expected and actual result here. They are same, and it will be like this. So you can fail this test as well. So what I'll do is I will change the expected result, like wrong username and password. I'll say -1. So now I am assuming that this is my expected result, and now if I run this test, so what will happen? The actual text will be different and the expected will be different. So you will see one error after I run this. So in the error, you'll see that comparison failure. Okay, wrong username password. Expected was this and actual is this. Okay, so 1 second. Here I have written it reverse way. Expected comma actual. It should be like expected comma actual. And you may also have a message also there. A message be like wrong message. Okay, right click and run.
Amol, why this sequence matters?
Which sequence? So because this is what the parameters it is actually implemented. So if you just see the implementation, just press Ctrl and click on this method. Okay, assert equal. Okay, so here you see the implementation of this method is in this way. So the first parameter is a message, second parameter is expected, and third parameter is actual. This is how the sequence is, right? If you just alter the sequence, the text will be taken as that particular way, right? So while implementing internally itself, the sequence is made like this. So you have to maintain the same. Getting
Okay. So what is this message for?
message is for just in case if your test fails, so it will appear here. So whatever text that you will write, so that will appear here in the error.
Got it.
Okay, you can write any message here, any text here, right? So this is how you can compare actual and expected result. You can keep any expected result, any actual result. You just need to know with the help of Selenium code how to capture that particular actual value, right? So if you want to capture any text, so you have a get text method. If you want to capture the URL, you have get current URL method. If you want to capture the title, you have get title method, like this. So over the time, when you will practice, you will learn this, right? What exactly to capture and how to capture it. And these are the basic things. With the help of this, you can do a lot of comparisons. Fine. So yes, is this clear? Somebody asked one doubt. If test pass, then if test passed at that step, we can pass message. No. Actually, pass message we cannot set it, right? So if the test passes, nothing happens, right? So if you are using TestNG, you will see some message. Okay, just 1 second. 1 second, I'll be back. So yes, is this clear to you? Any doubt in this? Yes? Okay. Now the next important thing is that if, let's suppose this, okay, Somesh is saying no. So yes, what is that you have not understood in this? Yes.
No,
So,
Mala, I mean, I don't have any doubt.
Acha, you don't have any doubt. Fine. Thank you very much. Fine. So, now, the important thing after this, when we actually find any bugs, what do? We report it. Okay. And in the reporting part, the main thing is the screenshot, right? So now we are going to learn how to take the screenshot, right? So there are actually several types of reports, so which actually we are not going to cover in the workshop, but again I'm going to give you one tutorial, a video tutorial on it. So with the help of which you can just generate the report and put some screenshots also inside. But how to take that screenshot, that I'm going to define it in front of you. So just see, there are few simple steps, and for that we'll take one example. Okay, copy and paste. So let's say screenshot demo, screenshot demo. Okay, so here only I will have one test, and up to opening a URL. So this code is up to opening the URL, right? So screenshot will be taken for the things that you have in your browser. Okay, so this is a URL or a website here. So this will appear in the browser. So what we are going to do is we are going to take the screenshot of it. How to take XPath in a Chrome? Okay. So just look at this. This is a selector hub tool, right? Yesterday I have shown you, right? So yesterday's video you still have access. You can just watch it till 12 p.m. today. And yesterday I have shown you how to just install this selector hub. Just get it installed, right? And whatever elements are there whose XPath you need, just select this arrow key and move your cursor over there. You will get the XPath quite quickly. And yes, in yesterday's note, one complete video tutorial is also given on XPath. You can just watch that. And yes, it is a extension, Chrome extension. Fine. Chrome plugin or Chrome extension. You can have this in different browsers also. It is not just limited to Chrome. You can add it in Firefox or in your Opera or even in the Microsoft Edge also. Fine. Now we are going to learn the screenshots. Fine. So this is the code. So this will open the browser, maximize it, and this will open this URL. So what I need to do is I want to take a screenshot of it, and taking a screenshot, believe me, it is very easy. Just 3 steps process. Okay. So all the methods are readily available inside the Selenium. We just need to know which method to use and how to use it. Okay. So in 3 simple steps. So first step is create object reference of take screenshot as. Now this is an interface readily available inside the Selenium. So take screenshot as and assign a driver to it. Create an object reference of take screenshot as and assign a driver to it. Fine. So I'll do this step. Take screenshot. You will get the suggestion immediately. Takes screenshot. Not as, only take screenshot. Say TS. This is a variable. You can give any name to it, and is equal to driver. Okay, assign a driver to it. Fine. So this driver is coming from this statement. Fine. Now the driver is of another type, and take screenshot is of another type. Driver is of type WebDriver, take screenshot is different type. So what you need to do is you need to typecast this driver into take screenshot. So you can do it very easily. Press Alt or Enter, or you can move your cursor there. You will get the suggestion to cast. Okay, so first option I'm getting cast to this. Okay, it is done. This was the first step. Second step is call the method get screenshot as, and this will return a file object. Okay, this will return a file object. Store it into a file variable. Okay, file object variable. This is the second step, so I'll just perform that. So call the method get screenshot using ts of. So ts dot get screenshot as, and its output should be file. So I'll make a note here, get screenshot as using ts. Okay, ts is defined here. Right, so it is going to return a file object. So let's store this into a file object. Okay, so I'll call this as a source file. This will be my source file. Okay, of type file. Right, so this is the file object. This is object. Now the third step is convert this object into a real file, or copy this object. Third and the last step is copy this object into a real image file. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just make one folder on my D drive wherein I can store the screenshot. Okay, I already have a folder here, so I will make this empty. D drive screenshot, this is the folder path. So you have to do like this: file utils. Okay, this is again a class, file utils dot copy file. Okay, file utils dot copy file. So I want to copy this file object into a new real file. So new file, and this is the path over there. And on this path I will create an image. So let's say img dot png or jpg, whatever it is. Right, so image.png. It throws an exception. Let's handle it. Whenever you see any red line, just press alt or enter. You will get some suggestions and you will realize that what to do with it. Okay, yes, and this was the last steps. So let's revise this. Create a object reference of text screenshot and assign a driver to it. Okay, I have assigned a driver to it. This is the object reference. Now driver is of different type, text screenshot is of different type. So what I need to do is I need to typecast this driver to text screenshot, and it can be done in this way. You will get a red line. You can just press alt or enter or move your cursor over the error. You will get the suggestion to typecast it. Fine. Second step is call the method get screenshot as using ts. ts is what? Text screenshot as object reference. Okay, and this will return a file object. Now store it into a file object variable. Okay, so I am calling the get screenshot as a method using the ts object reference, and this will return a file object. I am storing it into a file object. Now copy this file object into a real image file. So for that, this is the command file utils dot copy file. So source file into destination file. So destination file will be a new real file. So new file, and this is the path over here. So whatever the code we have written, so this should give me a screenshot on this particular path with this file name. Okay, so this is the web page here. So the path is this. Currently this folder is empty, and now what I'll do is I will run the code and let's see whether we get the screenshot or not. Okay, so browser is open. This is the website here, and I'll open this folder. So in the folder I can see an image is there, img. So this is image. Okay, you see here I'm zooming in, zooming out, right? So this is the image. It means that the screenshot has been taken by this code, right? So this was the central idea of how do we take a screenshot. So yes, is this clear to you? How to take a screenshot, is it clear? Yes, any doubt in this 1 2 3 steps? Fine. Now you can take any other screenshot also. So I'll take the screenshot of Facebook. Let's try with facebook.com. Save this, right click and run. Browser is opened, it is maximized, Facebook is open, it should take the screenshot here. So yes, I can see the Facebook screenshot is also there. Okay, now you see here in this folder, previously there was one screenshot and that is vanished here. Now I have only Facebook screenshot. The previous website screenshot is not there. Why?
It is overwritten.
It is overwritten. And in real practice, this won't work, right? So what you need is multiple screenshot you should maintain here, because you see, tomorrow if you have 10 bugs and if you want to maintain the screenshots of the 10 bugs, so this way if you work, it will not be good practice, right? So you should maintain all the 10 bugs, 10 screenshots, right? So yes, do you have any solution? So how can we maintain different or separate screenshots over here? Anything you can think of? How can I create different screenshots here? So here, so first understand why this is overwritten. Name change, okay. So same name is creating every time. So if I manage to change the name every time here, so every time I'm giving the name as img.png, so the same name is created. So every time I run this program, I'm getting the same name, so the previous screenshot is being replaced. So what can I do to get different name every time?
Can we add date and time to that?
Excellent. Okay, so you can add date and time. So every time date and time combination will be different. Okay, now to understand the date in Java, I have given you all the Java tutorials. Okay, so in the date 2 notes you will get the Java tutorials, out of which please learn that date video. Okay, so what code I am going to do now, that you will understand better. Still I'll try to explain you, but if you want to understand this in a proper and deep manner, so you have to watch that video, date in Java. Okay, so what I will do is, while creating this file name, I will take the current date, okay, current date time, and I will capture that into a timestamp. So I'll create a string, I'll call this as a timestamp. Okay, so what you need to do is, you have to first create the format of the date in which you want the current system date. So for that you have to write like this, new simple date format, and here you have to specify the pattern of the date. So let's say I'll have like this underscore YYYYMMDD. Okay, so current date, and plus again underscore, let's say hours, minutes and seconds. So I want the current system date in this format. Okay, so simple date format, and pass the string pattern over here. Again say here dot say format. Okay, and here you have to pass the current system date, and current system date you will get using this. Okay, I'll just get this on new line so that everything will be in front. You can just have this on one single line also. So format, and right here new date. So new date will do what? It will get the current system date, right? So whatever it is, so currently current system date and time it will capture. Okay, so the current system date it will capture, and it will be converted into this format, right? So I will get timestamp in this format. So what I'll do is, using this timestamp, I will create a string name file name. So let's say file name is equal to, I'll name this file as img and plus let's say this timestamp. Okay, and then let's say plus and plus dot png. Okay, semicolon, and this will be the file name here. So instead of this img.png, I will now write here plus file name. So this will create a random file name, random in the sense with the help of timestamp, img followed by timestamp. So every time the timestamp will be different, so that every time I will get another file. Okay, so let me just now open gmail.com, save this, right click and run. So it should maintain the previous screenshot because now the file name is going to be different. Okay, so Gmail is open. So let's see this folder. You see here the Facebook screenshot is still there, and this is the Gmail, Facebook Gmail. So let's open one more. You see here file name is also changed. Okay, I'll just zoom and show it to you. This is the file name here, img, and this like this, right? See, even in your mobile when you take pictures, right, so the files are actually stored with this kind of format only, right? So that, because who will remember the new file name every time, right? So it captures the timestamp. Let's try with one more website. So let's say scriptinglogic.com, scriptinglogic.com. Save this, right click and run. Okay, browser is opened, it is maximized, something is opening in the browser. Okay, once it is completely open, then only the next step would occur. So it is still loading. Okay, as long as it is loading, the next step would not execute. Now it is done, and you should see the screenshot here. You see, this is the screenshot of Scripting Logic, the previous one Gmail, the previous one Facebook. All the screenshots are now stored, and we can just have any screenshot here, right? No previous screenshot is overwritten. Fine. So this was a small piece of code I have added, these two lines and this here, so that I got every time new file name here. Okay, so you can apply assertion to the test, you can take a screenshot, and you can just collectively do one reporting, right? So for report, I have given you one video. Okay, so report generation. Okay, so look at this report generation using Extend Report 5.0. So just watch this video, you will understand how to generate the report and how to embed that screenshot inside your report. Okay, so yesterday I think somebody asked for a TestNG tutorial. So TestNG in details in a text format, TestNG and JUnit tutorials I have given you the links of it in today's notes. Fine. So this was all about taking the screenshot here. So yes, have you understood this? How we have actually added the timestamp over here. Now if you have any doubts, you can raise it. You can just raise it in the chat, or you can talk to me. So today we have learned the assertion part, that is how to compare actual and expected result, and then how to take screenshot over here, right? So tomorrow actually will be the last day of our workshop, and tomorrow we are going to see introduction to some framework like page object model and data driven framework. So tomorrow the complete framework we cannot complete, but I have given you a bonus gift wherein you will get a detailed tutorial on data driven framework and page object model. I will just introduce tomorrow so that it will develop interest within you to learn that, and whatever the bonus gifts I'm going to give you, all the video tutorials, those are private video tutorials. Those are my private class recording, live class recording. So you can just have it, and its access is there for a lifetime, not just for 24 hours. The bonus gifts, video tutorials that you are going to get, its access will be there for a lifetime, right? So tomorrow we also have any two quizzes there. So tomorrow please don't miss the session. Okay, so Nilesh is asking something. Do you have any document which contains all important frequently used method details? Okay, not as such, but tomorrow I'm going to share one ebook on Selenium. Okay, so you can refer that. That might help you in your such a requirement. Okay. So tomorrow you will get the ebook on it.